Let's see. Do we know somebody with experience having a Game 7 on home ice against the Edmonton Oilers? Lo and behold, we do. He is the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brind'Amour. First of all, happy summer. How are you?
Good. How are you guys? It sounds like nothing's changed. Still plugging away.
I mean, yeah, we don't have any other. We have to fake it, even if there's nothing going on. But we have a Game 7 tonight, and there's a lot of things going on in the world that I am interested in, even if some people aren't. And probably you aren't interested in some of the things that I am, but it's fine. Yeah, so we're still plugging away. What have you done over the last let's say 3 weeks?
Nothing much different. I go to the rink every day. We're in the process now of obviously trying to sign all our players, and so that's going on crazy. That's really what we've been focused on, and I'm helping in there where I can, and then obviously for us now too, from a coaching standpoint, it's about getting ready for next year. So you're putting all your video together for training camp and just dialing all that in, and so that's kind of the routine. Right now.
Are you optimistic at all about signing like a bunch of the big name guys? Because I just spent 10 minutes going through a lot of the names, and I am not optimistic about some of the bigger ticket items coming back, not because the team doesn't want them, but they're like Seth Jarvis is about to get paid. So, I mean, I'm not blaming Seth, but there's a lot of things that are going to happen, and there just isn't going to be a lot of room to bring those guys back. So are you optimistic about any of those big guys?
I'd like to be. It's you're right? We can just blame this on Seth and be done with it. But it's tough because I know all the guys. First of all, I want them all back. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It's tough because I understand both sides of it, and the players. They all. The other part that's tough is they all want to be here. There is a genuine thing. They'd love to stay. They love what we're doing. They love the area. But when there's, in their minds, and they have agents that don't care about any of what I just said.
Right.
And so they're sitting there telling them, whoa. Let's just wait and see because there's X team out there that's going to pay this, and the players have X amount of years to play, and so that's what makes it tough. So it's tough for me to sit there and go, hey, just sign with us, come on, and then knowing that they look at it a little differently too. So it's that's what's been going on. Am I optimistic? I can guarantee you that. Well, I am optimistic, but I don't think we're going to be able to have the same team. So that's it for sure. That is no doubt about that.
I'll ask about one guy in specifically because you and I have talked about it. I've talked with him about it. I feel like Jordan Martinook is very much the culture that you and I guess Justin Williams helped usher in 6 years ago. I think that would be the most difficult loss to deal with.
Yeah, no, he's a big part of it. It's what he does off the ice and stuff. But I think, you mentioned, he was kind of the first guy that I actually met or talked to. He was, I think, our first trade maybe that we did when I became coach. And so we definitely have a connection on how that all started, I think. But I do think over the years now we've had this, real influx of good young players with the mix of the old guys. And you remember Jordan Stahl is still here. And you talk about the culture leader, that's the guy.
Sure. Right.
So thankfully, he's locked in. So we know what we're getting there. And other guys have certainly stepped up in that department. But he's going to be a huge loss if we can't get him signed. No doubt about it. But at the end of the day, I do think there's other guys that are ready to step up in that kind of role too. So because he's done such a good job. I mean, we've seen it, and guys understand what needs to be done. So I hope we can get these guys back. We've still got a little bit of time here, and most of the time these things happen right at the end here. So we'll see.
Rod Brind'Amour is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, I'll ask you about a couple of other, Hurricanes matters coming up, but I want to ask you about Game 7, and if you could take me back, not to what happened in Game 6 because we all saw what happened in Game 6 in Edmonton in 2006. But when you got up the morning of Game 7, and what was that day like? And I'm just trying to figure out or trying to relate what maybe Matthew Tkachuk or Alexander Barkov are going through today. Now, it's different. You guys didn't lose 3 games in a row to get to Game 7, but what is the morning of Game 7 on your home ice like?
Yeah, I think I can only relate to, like you said, it happened for us, it was relief. I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying around until all of a sudden I woke up that morning. I'm like, okay, it's over today. Like win or lose, it's done. There's nothing left. Like this, and it felt kind of reassuring for some reason. And I just, that's how I felt about it. I don't know the other guys, but it just felt like the pressure kind of came off. It wasn't like it was on. So that at least that's how I felt in the morning. And I remember, my little boy and Skyler at the time in the morning saying, "Hey," and he's like, "Dad, you better win this thing. Like, let's go." And we just kind of went about our day, and obviously it worked out. But I think it's almost easier to play a game like this when there's nothing left. There's no, well, we got another game, we don't have another. It's just lay it all out there, and it's over tonight one way or another.
It's funny. I saw a couple of the guys on social media, Mike Commodore, Brett Hedican, and obviously you guys are a brotherhood for forever because of what you guys did as a family. Have you guys talked about that? Like what that day was like for everybody? I know you're still close with Hetty and Kevin Adams. What have you guys talked about that particular day?
That's a good question. It's funny. When we get together or still just text, we get these, you know Connie. So he gets the text chains going and they're just silly, right? And they have nothing to do with hockey. So it's and then it just goes a different direction. So and generally when we get together over the years, we don't really talk about hockey. It's just, it is what you said. It's a brotherhood that just, I think will last a lifetime. And we don't actually talk a lot about hockey, and that's kind of how I guess it should be, really. But I think everyone has their own kind of memories of it, and it's really that journey. It's not even the end of it, really. So this Game 7 is tonight. Everyone's going to remember that, but it's that whole journey up until that really creates that brotherhood.
I think Kevin played with a broken hand. Yeah. That's is one of the great war. See, he looks like a pretty boy, doesn't he, Kevin Adams?
Yeah. Not anymore.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't think he's hitting the GQ anytime soon. And I'm not either, so don't worry. I can throw that out there. But, we're not getting any prettier the older we get, that's for sure.
I don't know. Brett, I think Brett's still a handsome man.
Oh, Hetty is. I thought you said Kevin.
Well, no, I did, but I was like, I was just generalizing everybody. But, and Ray Whitney's still pretty handsome. But
you're right.
All right.
I mean, those guys, different category.
All right. What do you think happened in this series that completely flipped it? Because it looked after 3 games like Florida was it was just going to be a coronation, that maybe they'd lose Game 4 but get back right on it in Game 5. But they haven't been able to regain anything. So what do you think changed?
Well, what do you think changed? And I'll throw it at you.
I personally think that Florida, maybe they got kind of scared by 8-1 in game number 4, but I don't think Florida's gotten to their forecheck at all. Maybe Edmonton's just moved the puck too fast for them to get to it.
That's a big part of it. So you're right on there. But I also just think let's just be real on the saves that are not happening.
Okay, yeah, Bob has just been okay. He's been ordinary.
The grade A chances are going in.
Right.
They go to Game 1 when the grade A chances, and I'm talking about for Edmonton. They didn't go in
the first 2 periods. Yeah.
So then, but right now, it's not like you can fault them. I don't think there was one bad goal that I've seen the last couple of games, but they're going to give up grade A chances. You just do. When he makes the saves, you don't talk about it, and then you go to the next one. But all of a sudden they go in, and everyone's like, "What happened?" That's what I see is different. The Skinners made a few grade A's. There was a couple early in the game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what game it was. That's the difference that those go in. And suddenly you go the other way, and Edmonton scores. And that's really the difference. And you hate to boil it down to that simply of a thing, but that's what I'm seeing happening. But to your point, if you want to go systematically, then yes, the forecheck has been kind of non-existent for Florida. And when they've kind of gone, they've gotten caught. And that's where maybe they are a bit thinking, whoa, what's happening here? But I think tonight you're going to see a different game out of Florida.
Rod Brind'Amour is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, I want to get to the challenge call because you and I have talked about replay in the past. This is not a replay issue. This is something that we look at routinely. What did you think about the overturned goal by Barkov?
Well, the offside one is easy. Nobody gets those wrong. I don't even know what the success rate because it's black and white. It's obvious. You take a look. The puck didn't cross. There's a little bit of white between the skate and the blue line. You challenge it 100 times out of 100, and so it's not like to me that one's not. Even though it was so close, you could see it clearly if you had the right view. It was offside.
Yep.
That's easy. It's not; those ones are not debatable. It's not even worth talking about. It's the other stuff that we talk about. That's nobody knows what's going on goal interference, and I hope that doesn't happen tonight. That's not black and white, and that's where we get in trouble.
Is there a way to make that more black and white? I don't know that there is. The goalie interference.
Common sense. There has to be more common sense to it, and then you can't put it in the coach's hands. Like just to take it out of there because the penalty's too severe, for that kind of thing. So because now the whole game gets influenced, and now you're just adding. So I think number one, put more common sense into it. What it used to be, which if you run into a goalie, you can't make the save. That's a goal interference. If you have a little bump and it gets a little less common sense for me. Anyway, I know it sounds a little bit. Well, that sounds easy, but I think it's just gone way too technical now where, you got an inch in there. Did he even touch the goalie at all? And if he does, I don't know. Nobody knows. So that one I hope does not happen tonight. That would be terrible.
I know we have, like in English football and actually in soccer all over the world, we have video assistant referees. Should there be one of those in every NHL game?
There should be something. We've talked about this forever.
Right.
We're still officiating almost in the dark ages, 30 years ago. Well, and now they are doing more of it. Like watch how often now they'll call a major for no reason because that they can actually go review and then they get it right. It's just amazing. Just review the penalties quickly or go to a TV timeout while you're reviewing it, and we just can move along when you're getting it right. And so they're moving toward it a lot more, I think, slowly than they should, but I think we're getting to that point where you're going to have something like you just said or some form of fashion where we get these calls right because the technology's there.
We have penalties for embellishment.
Oh.
They're rarely called. They have been called more often. I'll fan out here. I think they have been called more often against Carolina than any other team that I've seen. Should the penalties for diving, like when Igor Shesterkin spins like a top to enhance the contact, or Bobrovsky, who does a fair amount of diving. Should those penalties be more severe?
Well, you just need to call it, and then the only problem is because you watch it live, you can't really tell. But
right.
We get the review of it, and then we go, oh my gosh! There's way more. Like the tripping where you tap a guy from the back and his legs go out forward. Oh, how would that be a tripping? That's clearly he dove. It doesn't work that way. But when you watch it live, you can't tell. So that's why we need to have the quick reviews because if you actually call the embellishment versus the trip, then you wouldn't have it, right? We're becoming a little more like soccer. I know you're a big soccer guy.
I am.
But there's a reason they do that is because they get called for it, right? Or whatever. I don't know. They must. And so why do you think guys are doing this now? Because it's working. So we need to stop that quickly. To me, it's just a quick review. And then you could even add a fine on it, do something, embarrass the guys, stop doing it, and it'll go away. But when it's working, you can't fault the guy for embellishing when they're getting the calls, right?
Yellow card for embellishment, and then a yellow card accumulation, and you get too many, and it's like technical fouls in basketball. You get too many technical fouls, you get suspended for a game. I'd be all about it.
I love it. And in soccer, don't you play on if it's a foul, but it doesn't really affect the play? You just keep going.
Absolutely.
Why couldn't you do that in hockey?
We should play advantage.
Right. The tap on the hand, penalty, it didn't matter. The puck kept moving forward. It went to the guy. Good. We're keep going. I don't know. It's too much common sense there.
All right, final thing. I don't know what else you're watching other than Game 7 tonight. Or have you watched any of the European Soccer Championships or the Copa America? Are you watching any of that?
No, I knew you were going to ask me. I thought that's what I was coming on here to talk about. Remember, we've had this discussion.
Right.
We
had a Game 7 tonight. We had a Game 7 tonight.
I know. We had Game 7. I get it. That took it. But the college baseball I was really into for a while, and now not so much.
Right, me too.
But, that's on tonight too somehow. I don't know why they doubled up on that, but that's been exciting to watch. And then the golf's been good on the weekends, right? Another good one yesterday.
Oh, man. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler wins again.
Yeah, this guy's unreal. So I've been watching that. The soccer, not so much, but maybe I'll get into that. It's on it today at 3 or something, right?
It is on today. We have 2 matches on at 3. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. But real quick, what are your thoughts on Rory McIlroy not wanting to win apparently the U.S. Open?
Man, I don't know. That's so hard. Because I golf, or I try to, and I miss those like it's my job. And so, I can't. It's not like he was trying to miss it, Right. I actually feel bad for him because
I do too.
He should make those, right?
Yep.
And he does. Didn't he, like 90% of them, like whatever? That was insane. Like he doesn't miss those, and he did, and it cost him that tournament, which I actually feel for him because he's such a good golfer. So I'm not jumping on him.
No, I'm with you.
That's going to happen. That's why sports are so great, right? You just never know.
You just never know. All right, so next time that we talk, we'll talk no hockey, and we will talk about other things. We had a Game 7 tonight, so I thought I would ask you about that.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, buddy.
Thank you very much. You got it.
All right.
Take care. Rod Brind'Amour here on the Adam Cole Show.